question 6. So for part A here, all we've really got to do is we just need to sub in 2 to this. So when we do that, just make sure that when you do so, do it, always like sub in, put it in brackets. It can be a problem when you're using negatives. So just be aware of that. But the rest of this really should be able to do this on your calculator without too much trouble. Now, if you work that out, the answer is 0, surprisingly. Right? Why have they asked us to work this out? So remember, factor theorem. When this works out to be 0, it means that x minus this will be a factor. So we know that x minus 2 is going to be a factor. So now on part 2, it means because we know x minus 2 is a factor, we need to get a product of 2 factors. So therefore we just need to divide this by x minus 2. That's what it's asking us to do. So let's just quickly write this down. So we've got minus x cubed, 8x squared, minus 9x plus 10. And then we want to divide that. So how are we going to do that? Let's do it as a long multiplication. I've not given myself room there, have I? Right, let me move it down a little bit further. That's not good planning. Right, there we go. So let's just do a nice long division here. So we've got x minus 2. There we go. Right, so what do I multiply this by? So I end up getting this is part of my answer. I would multiply that by minus 3x squared. So if I multiply this by minus 3x squared, I'm going to get minus 3x cubed there, and then I'm going to get plus 6x squared. Right, what's left? Obviously there's nothing there. That's 2x squared. So we've got 2x squared. Bring down a minus 9 as well, if you prefer as well. Bring down a 10. Right, what do I multiply this by? So I get 2x squared. I can multiply it by 2x. So 2x in there. And then, so if I actually do this, I'm going to have 2x squared. Multiply this by 2x. We end up with minus 4x. Right, what have we got left? This, take away this part, is going to give me 5x, or minus 5x rather. And then also we've got the plus 10 left. What do I multiply this by to get to this? Minus 5, and I think you'll find there's nothing left over. So therefore, this is equal to x minus 2 multiplied by minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. So product of 2 factors, right? Just there. Okay, so now let's have a look at part B. Now it does tell us to use our answer to what we've just done. So when we get on to part B, let's have a look. So part B. The first thing that I'm going to write down here is the first thing I notice is talking about y to the 6, y to the 4, y to the 2. That's like just double everything that we've done. So it would make life much easier if I just write that down. Okay, so y squared equals x. Right, so what are my possible solutions? So when I'm looking at this up here, I've obviously got a solution there. Remember, we're looking at when this is going to be equal to 0. Okay, that's what it says there. So I've got a possible route there. So, and I need to explore this bit as well. I need to see if there's any possible solutions there. Is this bit going to be equal to 0 at all? So if I just test this one out, remember, if I look at b squared minus 4ac and just see what that's going to be. So if I substitute in the 2, substitute in the minus 3, substitute in the minus 5, and if you sub in those things, you should end up getting equals minus 56. So what that means, remember, is that that's less than 0, isn't it? So there's no roots here. All right, so there's no roots just there. But there is a root here, so x could be 2. So we need to write y squared is equal to 2. Square root of both sides, y equals plus minus root 2. Wait a minute, what was the question? Prove that there are exactly 2 real solutions to the equation. There we go. I've got 2 solutions, 0 solutions over there. There we are. Now, on part C, let's have a little look at part C. On part C, it says deduce the number of real solutions. Okay, ooh, this looks a little bit tricky, okay? However, what we can do now, there are clues within what we've got. Remember, this really is the same as this bit. And we know that there's only 2 solutions. And it's when x is equal to 2. So in other words, here, the only real difference is it's when tan theta is going to be equal to 2, right? The tan theta is the same as the x bit. So we can write down tan x, or tan theta, must equal 2. So if I now think about what possible solutions that I've got, well, it only actually wants me to work out how many solutions that there actually are. So I could go through the process of working this out. But if we think about it, it wants the number of solutions from 7 pi up to 10 pi. Now, the easiest thing to do is to think to yourself, well, what happens with tan? So we get tan goes like this, doesn't it? It repeats itself as we go through. So it repeats itself. And it repeats itself every 180 degrees, or every pi. So this value here, that's pi over 2, isn't it? That's pi. Now I could carry on here, but if you think about what's going to happen further down the line, let's just, so I'll point there, that's 0, and that's 2 pi. So when we do the inverse tan of 2, so if you think about, I'm going to have one solution from 0 to pi. I'm going to have another solution from pi to 2 pi. So if you think about going from 7 pi up to 10 pi, I'm going to go 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. So therefore, there must be 3 solutions. Now the question doesn't ask us to actually work out what the solutions are.